Hey guys, it's Shay here. I am going over real estate terminology today. It is key to passing your exam, which is what I'm working on. So I wanted to take this journey with you guys and just, really make it so that other people will have easy access to resources to pass the exam as well. So I'm going to be taking my exam, just to let you know, in probably about a week. They say you should study for about 20 hours before you pass it. After you take your classes, I've completed my 40 hours of classes. Yay! And I went to Boston Real Estate School, so that was an online school. It's a resource that I will drop a link below just in case you guys haven't already submitted yourself to a school. But I want to get right into the definitions and the terms because this is something that I'm excited about. They say that you should break it down piece by piece, like you should do probably about maybe 5 to 10 words at a time. Repeat them, say the definition out loud to yourself, and give yourself an example of the definition, and then again repeat it, and that's the way that we should do it together. Okay, so the first page of words are going to be 21E certificate. So the 21E certificate certifies that property is free from contamination. Certifies that the property is free from contamination. 21E certificate. Next is the 203B, which is the FHA Financing Program for anyone purchasing a primary 1 to 4 family owner-occupied residence. So let me start that again. So FHA Financing Program for anyone purchasing a primary 1 to 4 family owner-occupied residence. Okay. The 1031 exchange. A 1031 exchange is the way to defer capital gains tax, and property owner must reinvest profits from the sale of an investment property into another investment property within 6 months. So the way to defer capital gains would be to take the money from one property, reinvest it into the next property within 6 months. A 1099. A 1099 is the independent contractor status according to the IRS tax classifications. That's what you want to basically be under as a real estate agent. You're going to want to file as a 1099. ABAs. Affiliated business arrangements. Service providers, such as mortgage brokers and real estate attorneys. They package their services together as an offering to their clients. Abandonment. The lessee leaves without consent of lessor before lease expires. Does not break lease or relieve lessee of obligation. Abatement. A reduction in property taxes. Must file taxes before requesting. So that goes along with the 1099. Just remember it like that. Abatement is the reduction in property taxes, but you must file taxes before requesting this. Abstract of title. A condensed history of legal title summarizing all instruments in chain of ownership provided by lender's attorney and paid by borrower. So the abstract of title is a condensed history of legal title summarizing all instruments in chain of ownership provided by lender's attorney and paid by the borrower. Abutting. Abutting. Neighboring land with a common boundary. Abutting. Neighboring land with a common boundary, like a fence. Acceleration clause. A clause and note protecting lender. Upon default, balance of debt becomes due immediately instead of maturity date. It's a prelude to foreclosure. Acceptance. Indication by signature of offeree that he is willing to be bound by terms of offer from offerer. Accretion. Increase of property by gradual natural additions, as of land by alluvion. So increase of property by gradual natural additions, as of land by alluvion. Accretion line, that would be the water's edge. That I remember. Often the mean high tide line. So when we get into riparian rights, you'll understand a little bit more about accretion line, but for the most part, we want to remember that it's the water's edge. Accrued depreciation. Accrued depreciation is the difference between cost of replacing property, new as of date of appraisal, and present value. It already occurs when property is purchased. So the accrued depreciation is the difference between the cost of replacing the property new as of date of appraisal and present value. So what it's saying is when you purchase a home, it already starts to depreciate in value. Acknowledgment. Acknowledgment is an act of executing a legal instrument such as a deed, mortgage, or discharge before a lawyer or other officer of state, such as a notary public. This act declares signing to be free and voluntary. This is necessary before recording at the registry. So acknowledgement, again, is an act of an executing of legal instruments such as a deed, mortgage, or discharge before a lawyer or other officer of state, such as notary public. I just wanted to add that "re" in there. This act declares signing to be free and voluntary. This is necessary before recording at the registry. An acre. An acre is going to be 43,560 square feet. 43,560 square feet. We have to know that for the test. 43,560 square feet is an acre. Whew, that's pretty big. Action of law. A way in which a lease can be terminated. Action of law. A way in which a lease can be terminated. It includes eminent domain, taking, tax sale, etc. Now, just a quick, rundown of what eminent domain is. Eminent domain is the right of the government to take your property for public interest, and you would receive compensation for that. It's called condemnation. That's just another word that we're going to go over when we get to the E's, but right now we're in the A's. Okay. Active income. Income generated from active activities such as salary, but it cannot deduct depreciation from this income unless you are a real estate professional. So active income is income generated from active activities such as a salary. Actual eviction, something we all want to stay away from. Actual eviction is the legal action originated by lessor, whereby lessee is in default and physically ousted pursuant a court order. Adjacent. Adjacent is near, by, or abutting. Now remember, we learned what abutting was. And abutting is neighboring land with a common boundary. Adjacent is nearby or abutting. Adjoining. Adjoining means touching and contiguous. Adjustments. Rents, insurance, fuel, taxes, etc. Apportioned or prorated between buyer and seller at closing of title. It's really passing of papers. So adjustments is rents, insurance, fuel, taxes, etc. Apportioned or prorated between the buyer and seller at closing of title. And the closing of title is really just the passing of the papers. Administrator. A person appointed by the court to probate or prove and settle a state of person leaving no will. Ad valorem. Tax assessment based on actual value. Ad valorem. Tax assessment based on actual value. So those words, we're going to have to play this video back. We can play it back as many times as we need to. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Thank you so much for joining me and my journey to passing the real estate exam, and I hope that you pass as well.